All right, hello everyone. So, as you all know, the NFL draft is at the end of this month, and because of that, I am going to be doing a series over the next couple weeks, one video every week on this topic. We are going to do drafts in retrospect, and we're going to go back the last 4 years, starting this video, the 2017 draft for the Jaguars, and then next week will be 18, 19, so forth, until we get up to the 2021, which will be April 29th. So, tonight we look back on the 2017 Jacksonville Jaguars draft. Where did the Jaguars take them? Where are they now? What was their accomplishments? Let's get into it. So, as we all know, with that first pick, the first round pick, 4th overall, the Jaguars selected running back Leonard Fournette out of LSU. Now, that was my guy. I know a lot of Jaguars fans. I remember hashtag Fournette at 4 was all over like Jaguar Twitter. He was my guy. He was a lot of your guys' guy, and we got him, and we were so happy. And that first season, he played in 13 games. I remember he got suspended for like missing a team meeting or something, and then he missed 2 other games due to injury. But in the regular season, he had 1,040 yards on 268 attempts, and he averaged a 3.9 average, which is, breaking 1,000 yards is good, but the average was kind of a little not quite what you want it to be. Had 9 touchdowns during the regular season. He had to have at least 5 during the playoffs. He had I think 3 against Pittsburgh, and he had 2 against New England. No one really scored well. Blake threw a touchdown against Buffalo. He had 5 touchdowns in the postseason that year. Receiving, he had 36 catches for 302 yards and 1 singular touchdown. And then followed that up to the 2018 season. He only played 8 games. I remember his hamstring was just the most frustrating thing. He was hurt every week, seemed. Even the games he was active, he barely played before TJ Yeldon was spelling him. He had 439 yards on 133 carries, 5 touchdowns, average 3.3 yards. That's terrible. He had 22 catches, 185 yards, and 1 touchdown. Not a very good year, and it was after that year that Tom Coughlin pretty much called him out and took away all of his incentive money, or his guaranteed money, which that was kind of like, oh boy, what's gonna happen with Leonard? And then he followed that up with the best year of his professional career, with 15 games, 265 carries, 1,152 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaged 4.3 yards, and was a beast receiving. He had 76 catches for 522 yards, no touchdowns though. Just a great year. Fournette had a wonderful, great year. And you and I both know how the Jaguars repaid him. They cut him a week before this past season. Just cut him. Just because. Because we don't like to win around here, that's why. So that was our first round pick. And then I'm not going to get too much into this because it seems like I've talked about Cam Robinson at so much on this channel. But with the second round pick, 34th overall, the Jaguars actually traded up a couple spots to get him. Cam Robinson, left tackle out of Alabama. I've talked about Cam Robinson a whole bunch. He had a really good rookie year. Hurt his second year. He was average last year. And the Jags just tagged him for the coming year. So, not a bust, but not necessarily worth a high second round pick. At least, yeah, we shall see. Dwan Smoot, they picked in the 3rd round, 68th overall. And the first 2 years, DeJuan Smoot did Ruseg. I don't even think the dude had a tackle. It was awful. The defensive end out of Illinois, dude did not do a whole lot. And then out of nowhere, during the 2019 season, the dude just came on. He had 6.5 sacks. I believe that's what he had this past season too. He really came on as kind of that solid rotational big end kind of a guy. And he earned a second contract. So good for him. Good value pick there. He had a nice little turnaround for his career and a good pick by the Jags. And in the 4th round that year, 110th overall, was Dede Westbrook, wide receiver out of Oklahoma. His first year, I was really happy about this. I really like Dede Westbrook. I still do. I'm still kind of bummed that the Jaguars let him go, but whatever, I'll get over it. His first year, he had 27 catches, 339 yards, averaged 12.6 yards per catch, and he had 1 touchdown. However, I remember him being a very key piece in the Steelers playoff game that year. Had a lot of key third down conversion catches in that game. So, came up pretty big for us in that. He's also the dude against the Patriots in the championship game, that last 4th down when Blake was kind of getting tackled and he threw it. And it still kills me. I cannot watch the highlights from that game still to this day fully. And it was just if Blake had just put another foot of air underneath it. And then the corner, I think it was Stephon Gilmore, is just, no, Jaguars, you will not go to your first Super Bowl. You will suffer forever. And suffer we have. Second year of Dede's career, he had 66 catches for 717 yards, averaged 10.9 yards per catch, had 5 touchdowns. Solid year he's kind of more like a slot receiver. Good year. Third year, pretty much had identical numbers. 66 catches again, 660 yards, averaged 10 yards per play, per catch, whatever. 3 touchdowns. And then this season, I don't understand this. This past season, he had 1 catch for 4 yards. Because Doug Marrone decided to make him a healthy scratch every week. I get it. I get we drafted Laviska Shenault. I get that we drafted Colin Johnson. I get that. But I feel like Dede Westbrook was too talented of a guy that the Jags, Doug Marrone, really just kind of let sit by the wayside. But I tell myself, between this move and the Fournette cutting him, it was all part of the plan to get Trevor. I believe that. Because I don't know what else to believe. Because based off those numbers that I just read, and you're a 1-15 team, and you got a guy who's pretty solid and productive, why is he inactive? Doesn't make any sense. So the 5th round pick we had that year was Blair Brown, linebacker. He was picked 148 overall. And I couldn't find any stats on this guy. I vaguely remember him as a special teams guy. He played 2 seasons for the Jags, had 17 tackles, and fumble recovery. Apparently, that's what Google says. I barely remember him. Another David Caldwell linebacker special. Miles Jack is the one guy, but outside of that, just terrible with those linebacker picks. 7th round pick. We did not have a 6th round pick. Not sure why. We had 2 7s. The first 7 was Jalen Myrick, 222 overall, a wide receiver from Minnesota. And, he's... I know it doesn't exist anymore, but Google says that he now plays in the XFL. So that tells me he's probably working at Walmart now. So good job with that one. And then the other 7th round pick that year, 240th overall, was Marquez Williams, fullback out of Miami. I remember when this pick happened, I really liked him because he was super fat, like he was a super chunker, and like I just saw highlights of him like mauling people over, and I just imagined like him like leading the way for Fournette, and I don't know, I liked it, and the dude never, I don't even think he ever played a snap for us. I think he was put on IR like in preseason, and then the Jags cut him in October. Like I guess he was too fat for for camp. I don't know what the whole deal was with him, but yeah, he's probably with Jalen Myrick working at Walmart now. Some highly productive drafting from our good friend David Caldwell. So that is the very last pick in that draft. That was the whole 2017 draft. In retrospect, it's depressing. It's really depressing reading all that and looking back that from that whole draft class, the only thing that the Jags had to show for it is Dwan Smoot is a solid rotational defensive lineman, and Cam Robinson is an average left tackle. And that, my friends, is why your Jacksonville Jaguars just finished 1-15. Because the drafting has been putrid. It won't be that way in April. I have faith and I have hope, because we have new brains, we have new eyes. It's going to be a new day. It's going to be glorious. At least I hope it is, because I'm getting PTSD just reading this crap. I can't do this anymore. But I thought this would be an interesting thing to kind of do for the channel, to go back in time and kind of torture all you Jaguar fans with how horrific our drafts have been, torturing myself in the process. If you made it this far in the video and you suffered through the torture, such as myself, that I have done, like the video, subscribe if you want more Jaguar content like this. Like I said, I'm going to be making each week. So next week I'm going to be doing the 2018 draft. We get to talk about our boy Taven Bryan. Oh my God, I can't wait. Taven Bryan. Just that name, it gets me so excited. So yeah, hit like, hit subscribe. Go Jags.